was second, beaten a couple of lengths up at Stradbally last time out. It's then 5-1 Bar Premier Portrait, who is 6-4 atop the boards down in the betting ring. Coming into line, white flag, and they are a bit straggled. I'm not sure whether they're racing or not. No, they're not. Being called back. They're asked to take a turn, ready to go now, and they're off and racing. This is Division 2 of the Older Horses Maiden, sponsored by Liam Walsh and Associates and Lon-Bia. 6-4 favourite. The offers Premier Portrait in an all-blue jacket as they go to the first fence. And all over it safely. Mistake towards midfield by Don't Call Me Carmel, but the one who's setting a good gallop through the early point in this contest is Balnard Billy, who's flown on into a 4-5 length lead. In the second spot in the multicoloured jacket is Nerney Hill. This one ridden by Paul Gahan, who had a winner over in France last week of a valuable race for Dennis Murphy on a point-a-pointer. After these then in the third position in the red colours is Classic Jewel and Owen O'Brien, and they in turn are a couple of lengths clear of Richie Hardig and Jackie Gale, who sits in fourth. Back then in fifth place is one of the Raiders from County Tipperary in this race. That's Miley Coughlin's runner Shannon Smacker. So they continue racing now to the second fence, and Balnard Billy will take it in the lead. Stood off at a mile and just about scrambled to the other side of the leader, Balnard Billy, but he still leads by 5 or 6. In second place, we've got Nerney Hill. Turning into the home straight then after these in third position, some, 7-8 lengths off the leader. Then we have got Classic Jewel, who in turn is ahead of Jackie Gale and Shannon Smacker, and then to midfield to find Castlone in sixth as they take the next one. After Castlone then is Premier Portrait, who's jumping soundly at the moment. In turn, that one is being followed slightly out wide by Subtle Ben. Another one towards the mid-rank is Village Whispers in the light blue silks, and they in turn are being followed by Our Zetter in the black and white colours. He in turn is just ahead of Debt Collector as they stream over this next one, and then towards the back is Under Doctor's Orders. The grey horse is He Will Turn Up, the Galway runner, and last of all at the moment is Care Hennessy. Meanwhile, the leader, if anything, has suddenly put on an extra gear and gone a long way clear from Balnard Billy. So Balnard Billy is in a hurry to get home, but he's got still a lot of yardage to cover before he'll be on that winner's rostrum. He's out there in the lead, Balnard Billy, some 20 lengths in front now in the hands of Declan Collins. So Balnard Billy into the back straight, all the time increasing the lead. In second place is Classic Jewel. Jackie Gale is in third position. Back to fourth then is Nerney Hill, as Balnard Billy makes his way towards the middle of the back straight. The rest of them just jumping this fence at the entrance to the back straight. Again, all over it safely. The one who begins to struggle now at the back of the field is Debt Collector, but Balnard Billy 25 to 30 lengths to the good from Classic Jewel and Jackie Gale, and these in turn are ahead of Nerney Hill and Premier Portrait. And then you got Shannon Smacker and Cassalone still racing together towards midfield, Subtleben and Village Whispers, and they in turn are ahead of the next one just after that group. Then in midfield is Our Zetter, and then Under Doctor's Orders in turn follow then. Three from the back at the moment there is the grey He Will Turn Up, and the two behind him are Care Hennessy and the really struggling back marker Debt Collector. But Balnard Billy remains clear. Has he conserved enough of juice to get home? We'll find out in the next 2 or 3 minutes as he heads into the home straight now and onwards to the fence, which is 7 from the finish, past the halfway point. Balnard Billy clear. Second into the home straight is Classic Jewel. Third position is Jackie Gale, and then there's another 5 lengths then to Subtle Ben, who is on the outside of Nerney Hill. So as Balnard Billy takes the next one, the chasing pack are still happy to sit some 15-20 lengths behind him. So down to the next one, Balnard Billy clear. Jackie Gale is in second, Classic Jewel third. Fourth place then on the near side is Subtle Ben with Nerney Hill still going pretty sweetly as Premier Portrait, followed by Cassalone, and then in the light blue silk sweat cap Village Whispers. And this one in turn then is followed by Under Doctor's Orders, then Our Zetter, and getting a few reminders Shannon Smacker, and they're clear from Care Hennessy. Out the back door pulled up was Debt Collector. Care Hennessy also pulled up, and now all of a sudden the long time leader Balnard Billy begins to run out of puff, and he has been quickly headed and begins to backtrack at the moment as a new leader has emerged on the inside there in the shape of Richie Harding and Jackie Gale. So Jackie Gale just about in front from Classic Jewel as the shape of the race has changed, as Balnard Billy is back now to third. He's trying to get second wind and run on again. Fourth place, one who's made good ground, is the grey, who's made a bit of a spurt there through the pack. He Will Turn Up. So down now over the next fence, and it is Jackie Gale. Balnard Billy looked as though he was a beaten duck. It is still kept going and has come back into the picture now with Classic Jewel. These three across the track lead by 4. From in the fourth position then as He Will Turn Up. You'd be still happy enough if you back that favourite Premier Portrait is going, as well as Annie in 5th place, sitting 3 or 4 off the gallop, and in turn he's a few lengths clear from Subtle Ben. Under Doctor's Orders, Nerney Hill is struggling, and the rest are struggling also. Working hard is Village Whispers, and beginning now to drop out is Cassalone. But as they go now to the third last fence, and there's 5 beginning to tighten up. Classic Jewel leads from Balnard Billy. Next one to be ridden is Jackie Gale. Premier Portrait still held together in 4th by Barry O'Neill, and on their outside is He Will Turn Up, and then a few lengths to Subtle Ben Under Doctor's Orders, and then after these under the cosh is Village Whispers. Down now to the third last fence, well into the final half mile. Classic Jewel from Jackie Gale, and right in behind, you'd be very happy now if you run Premier Portrait. He's on the premises, ready to pounce if good enough. They go on from Subtle Ben Under Doctor's Orders, and He Will Turn Up. Balnard Billy has cried enough, Village Whisper has cried enough, Cassalone has been pulled up, as has Nerney Hill, and as they race now to the second last, Classic Jewel leads. Here comes Premier Portrait, but now beginning to flag a little bit as he almost gets on terms, and Classic Jewel kicks on again. Classic Jewel from Premier Portrait, not as healthy looking as he was a while ago, back in the third spot. Subtle Ben, a bit of a shock, is beginning to run on, and as they head to the final fence, it is Classic Jewel. Premier Portrait switched the inside, and that has seen him come with another run, and then Subtle Ben is in third, and down to the final fence, Classic Jewel with on the inside Premier Portrait to the front over the last from Classic Jewel, and as they go to the finish, and this Classic Jewel will not go down without a fight, but Premier Portrait, Classic Jewel, it's a really tight one. Near side was Classic Jewel. Owen O'Brien would have got a hat-trick if that got up. On the far side, Premier Portrait. It's very, very tight, that finish. Subtle Ben was a close third, Under Doctor's Orders was 4th, so that was probably the tightest finish of the day. Classic Jewel was headed and fought back tenaciously with Premier Portrait on the inside. Very, very tight. Impossible to call from this angle. We'll have to wait and see what way the camera goes.
The result of the second division of the sixth: first, number 32; second, number 6; third, number 10. Number 13 was fourth. Distances were ahead, 2.5 lengths and 3 lengths. 32, 6, 10. Number 13 was fourth, ahead, 2.5 lengths and 3 lengths.